Hey there, welcome to Tour the Office Tuesday. It's Tuesday, February the 20th, 2018, year of our Lord, and we are in the season of Lent. So, for this whole season of Lent, all the Tour the Office Tuesdays are going to be books that sort of give me professional and personal nourishment as I am a pastor and try to be a good person of faith. So, this is a book that I think that everybody should read, whether you're a pastor, whether you're thinking about being a pastor, or whether you're just a person who's just doing the very best that they can, like me, to follow Jesus. This is a book called Hearing Beyond the Words, and this is a book that I got in my first pastoral care class in seminary. And in seminary, what you hope happens is that you get kind of the educational, theological competencies to then become a pastor, but being a pastor is a lot more complicated than that. But you do get some really important sort of tools that you can use later on as you become a pastor. But some of this is not relegated only to professional clergy. I think everybody needs to be good dispensers of pastoral care, to be able to listen, to be able to maybe help people reframe hopeless situations, to find hope and meaning in them. And this is a book, again, that I think everybody should read. It's called Hearing Beyond the Words, and the crux of this argument and the way that the way that hearing and the act of hearing is laid out is the author presents it as hearing as an act of hospitality. So when we hear, when we listen, when we actively listen to somebody and we allow them to bring their honest self to us and to talk about their joys and their concerns, what we're doing is hospitality. And personally, I believe that hospitality is the paramount virtue of being a Christian. I think, like, it doesn't matter how elevated and elegant one's theology is. If you can't do hospitality well, then it's really difficult to do anything else. You can't really spread your elegant, highfalutin theology if you can't make a space for people to come and bring their self. So that's kind of how we do our space here on campus. We're really, really intentional about hospitality, but this really frames listening. So you get somebody together, and the act of you as a person listening to them, clearing your mind, not interrupting them with some sort of response that you think that they want but they probably don't want. When you hear somebody, what you're doing is the paramount virtue of Christian living, which is creating hospitality. And just to make it relatively practical for you, to save you from reading this book, when we listen to people, what we don't do is we don't formulate a response to what they're saying when they're talking, because when we do that, we have pushed them out of this holy space that we've created to listen in. So when you listen to somebody, just take that, just fully listen to them, and if they want a response from you, they might say, well, what do you think? And then you can form your response. But when somebody is speaking to you and they're sharing something that's intimate to them, some joy or concern, listen fully. If there's tons of good tips in this book, but I think this book for me has really nourished me both as a pastor and as a person of faith, because it helps me to understand listening to be connected to what I believe to be the highest virtue in the Christian living, which is hospitality. So I hope you'll read this book, or if not, just come and talk to me about it, and I will listen to you fully because I read this book. I'll see you next week.